All right.
Hi again. We're down here at the spillway of the pond, or the waterfall area. Kind of where our slate, one of our slate pits is going to be at. You can see we got the slate here.
Now, slate, that's the same stuff chalkboards are made of.
Yeah, actually one of the local towns around here, back in the 30s when they built the high school, hard to believe, all 16 chalkboards came off of actually the property just down the road from here.
Which was part of this
Part
as
of the
one.
original, part of the farm at one point that we owned, that we bought back in later in the day, or a few, back in the 70s or so, when we sold a few years back. But same deal, we're actually looking at doing our countertops in our house out of slate off of this property.
Now, if I'm understanding correctly, you can use it for countertops, you can use it for flagstone, you can use it for flooring tile.
Yeah, you can do.
Now that's a pretty big piece.
You can do actually roof tiles and everything else.
Roof tiles?
Yeah, which this is kind of a rough idea, but you take a chisel and you're literally just going through, and I'm just going to break it because this is not a very good rock, but you're driving them in there and
you can split it.
You're splitting it. Oh, right there.
Okay.
Which said not a very good rock.
Well, this stuff is
but you split it open, and the whole concept is that all comes off as one piece, and said not a rock, but you actually use a chisel and a hammer and just chisel it out, and you get a really pretty smooth surface. You get a little bit of indentions here and there, but you can do it depending on how thick you want it and depending on what you're making. But literally,
that's pretty stout stuff.
you said this
Now,
stuff.
this is the stuff that got ripped out.
Yeah, this is just some stuff I picked off the ground here. So this is
So if
really
we were to
a
actually cut
high-dollar
it out,
stuff. Yeah,
it'll
this
be
is
better.
This is just stuff that I'm picking off the ground. You're seeing I'm able to beat on it pretty good. And this stuff.
That's pretty stout still, even though it's been frozen a couple times.
Yeah, and last year and this year.
Wow.
This spring we've had, like every year, we've had floods, and you can kind of see our spillway of everything that's ripped out.
So this, as you can see, all that slate was ripped out when this new area here got cut. So we're going to take a walk up here. And they got a felled tree, but here's another big piece. But if you look right through there, you can see where this slate got ripped out.
Said the whole spillway used to go this way down this solid block base that we have here, and when it came off the pond, it actually dug a channel. You can kind of see there, 4-foot channel that it cut all the way down to the slate and to the.
Well, let me get around this waterfall here. Get around this tree. And we'll come up here.
Rock quarry.
Now this is, you're planning on.
We're planning on eventually coming in, kind of cleaning up all this, rebuilding the dam right here, a secondary dam here.
Right here,
Yeah.
where this tree is?
Basically where this tree is, or a little bit past that tree, build a secondary dam and back water up here.
All the way up in this. So you're gonna clean this here up too. So
Yeah.
if we look, we can see where the water was so powerful, it ripped these big chunks out of the ground.
Yeah, and you're looking, that's couple inches there. Using this stuff has so been waterlogged and abused.
It's super brittle. It's gotten frozen a couple of times.
So,
but if we come up here, you'll be able to see where it got ripped out.
you're seeing it's moved actual rock out of the ground here. So
Right. I mean, that was a lot of water. It cut a new path in a hurry.
yeah. Well, last year when it did this, I'm not the shortest guy in the world, but I'd be underwater right now. That was how much water was coming.
That was a lot of water flow. And we had a wet year last year. And you could see the water coming off that spillway. That is a lot. And right there is where the slate got ripped out of the ground. It literally tore this whole area up.
So,
Now look, that is a huge layer.
yeah.
How are we gonna get that out of the ground?
Basically, we're gonna strip everything back.
So we're gonna strip it back here when we make the basin area.
Yeah, when we come in touch
Okay.
basin, we're gonna strip everything back. If we have to, we can redirect this creek to get to the good stuff. Because there's probably some good stuff underneath all this.
Well, yeah, I
wet
mean,
stuff
look at
here.
that. That is slate right there.
But
That whole thing is just
for sure,
running.
'cause I know this layer of slate on a neighbor, it goes all the way at least an eighth of a mile. It comes out of the ground there because there's a spring that pops out of the ground
Okay.
through the slate there where it comes off the cliff. That growing up, I was kind of one of the play spots there. We always pulled out the slate there because you can always find a good skipping rock in slate. But
Heck yeah.
we'd pull them out there, and that was kind of one of the, usually if we couldn't be found, we were there. So one of those deals. But said it's at least an eighth of a mile of this stuff just popping in and out of these bluffs here.
And that looks like it's about
It's at least
2 or 3 foot thick.
Yeah, and I know down there about an eighth of a mile, it's about 6 foot deep there because it's just a huge layer of slate there.
Huge layer.
Yeah, I mean it's a
Okay.
massive, and
I mean, and if you look around, you can see where it just literally tore this entire area up as it created this new channel from the spillway.
yeah, and said we're gonna dam this all up, and this will be the after we get the countertops. We'll dam this up, and this will become the basin for the actual sawmill and or rock crusher that we're gonna put in for the water.
So you're gonna put in a water-powered sawmill and rock crusher just at the end of the basin that you create.
Yeah.
So this
basically, the water pressure coming off this, it'll turn water wheel or flywheel basically. It'll turn it, and the trivial force of it should give you enough RPMs and enough torque to be able to run the sawmill and or probably not the same time unless I go super crazy with gearing and flywheels to run either the sawmill or the rock crusher. Since the rock crusher, you're only talking, the plates are coming together at about 300 RPM. They're really not they're not slamming really crazy like a motor does at 1800 to 2000 RPM. They're only coming about 150 to 300 RPM together. But that's what crushes
So as a matter
this
of
big rock
preference,
down to.
are you gonna do the sawmill first or the rock crusher first? As a matter of preference.
Just kind of depends on what I get. Right
Parts
now,
for.
with the rainy season about over, the rock ain't as big of an importance. But when winter comes, it becomes a lot more importance when the winter starts coming here and you can't get in or out. But you can always sell. I know some couple guys that are always needing wood milled up, and just like rock around here, everyone needs rock sooner or later, especially as
Now, as you can see, we have plenty
Yeah.
of pine and cedar all over this hillside that
and
we could run through a sawmill.
there's a lot of cedar on here, kind of right there. There's a young cedar, about a 26, 27-year-old cedar, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Just by the size of it and the height of it, and oak, walnut tree behind it. And we have some elm and stuff, but I know you look through this whole bluff right here, there's a bunch of cedar, but there's a lot of oak on this ground too.
And that's on the other side of the property,
yeah,
over by
on
the
the other
fields.
side of the pond and further down. I mean, there's a lot of white oak and everything down through that holler and stuff, and gum, which it's a beautiful wood too, at least it can be.
So you got plenty of raw material.
Yeah, and it's just like my mom's house, her kitchen counter and everything actually got milled off of this, off the portable sawmill attachment for the chainsaw. We milled it and made it for her.
You and your brother did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like our countertops, we want to go with the rock kind of layer, kind of bring in our natural environment into our homes.
Yeah, because the way I
more.
understand it, slate is an extremely durable material.
Yeah, I mean, you can drive on it and stuff and beat on it pretty good. Just like down there, that was just some stuff that I picked up off the spillway after being brought from here, tumbled all the way down there and beat against rocks and everything else, and still took a pretty good beating and really nothing there to support it. So it's kind of like a tile. It'll make a tile. You can make roofing tiles out of it. You can actually make pavers for your driveway and everything else if you really wanted to. Which we might do a walkway around the house and stuff like that with it too. The idea of tying our farm into it is always kind of what we want to do with our house. The whole idea of
sustainability.
Yeah, or bringing our nature into it, and we're not having to go. Which you can go to Home Depot. I know just for a little bit of flooring that we did buy here a while back for the bathroom, it was $2 a square foot, and I still had to lay it myself at $2 a square foot, where I can cut this stuff and lay my entire house
for whatever it costs you in labor.
Yeah, whatever it costs in labor, and I get another project out of the deal where I'm expending a waterway, so I'm saving this resource of water, which we've always said when we did I talked about in the water filter. It's something that we've always noticed as it's a luxury that we have here on this farm. I know of at least 3 good springs that feed that, if not 5 that feed that. There's probably 2
that feed that pond.
That feed that pond. The 2 are I know of because they're on the bottom, toward the bottom of the pond from prior to us building the pond, knowing they were there.
Right, and that's what that whole area down there.
Which, yeah, it used to feed that creek.
That you can see through the down tree there, where all the white and the black is. That's where the whole creek system used to flow. Is that right?
Yeah, that used to be the old creek against that bluff area where the original water wheel my brother and I put in a few years ago, which ain't operational anymore.
And you're going to fix that
Yeah,
up too.
When we move the ram pump, we're going to get it to run in through it. So that excess water off that ram pump is what's turning it, instead of us having to spur off of a drive basically off of the line that used to run up the hill through a pump. So, which was always a pain, because when you try to pump water up through it, if you had that valve open, you sucked air back through. So it was kind of a pain, and just neither one of us thought about the time when we put the line in. A check valve would solve that issue, and
all right,
afterthoughts.
Let's get us a nice little video of our waterfall here, and then we'll end the video.
Give you an idea how big a hole this is.
Oh man, you're down there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm 6'6", and it's at least up to here to me.
That is slate right there, right?
That is slate, and I'm standing on right here. That's good old-fashioned limestone here, which
That's
find a lot of it around here.
Yeah. So there's the waterfall. This is what's coming off the pond right now. Let me get around these trees. More slate. So Yeah, he's down there quite a bit.
Said, there's Slate drop off there. That's 4 or 5 inches there, and just back to that waterfall, it's at least a 2-foot clay drop, and then there's at least a 2-foot yellow and gray clay on top of that. So
Yeah, this, I mean, you can, the camera's not going to do that justice. I mean,
Yeah.
you can see the black through the water. It is amazingly gorgeous.
And yeah, even with that old dirtiness right there, that is just beautiful black there. I mean,
And that's what you're standing on right now.
yeah, this is this old. You guys, just from growing up around here and dealing with them old chalkboards out of the old, what used to be old high school, it turned into the grade school when they built the new high school. But that's the idea. I know as a kid, my name got wrote up there a lot, and I know I tried to, as a kid, being as a...
To break that chalkboard?
Yeah, apparently I was, I might have been a little ornery growing up as a kid, so heaven forbid my daughter is not nearly as ornery as I was. But I know we used to throw stuff at it and see if we... And just, we always had to write our names on it because we were always in trouble. And I know when the principal, when they put the new whiteboards and smart boards on top of those a few years back, they apparently the old whiteboard that they put over the original board still had my name written on it, so they were really proud of that. They're like, yeah, we didn't even erase it when we hung these boards, we just left your name there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it came from this property. Might as well leave your name there, right?
My name's, future generations will always say, yeah, this kid must have been in trouble a lot.
All right, well, we're going to cut the video here, and we'll keep you updated in the future as we continue to beautify and conjoin with nature and use all of the resources that we have at our disposal, correct?
Yeah, and said we try to leave a very low footprint on the ground here, so hopefully my daughter and her children in the future will have the same beauty that I've got to get raised up in, and still get to pass on to them without mucking it up too bad. So
all right, well, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. Any words of wisdom before we kill it? Don't stand in the water.
Yeah, don't. If you stand in the water, make sure you put the bee wax on your boots to help waterproof.
All right.
But just try to enjoy life.
All right, YouTube, we'll catch you.
See y'all.